Which characteristic between intellect or hard work has the most influence on motivation?
Welcome to Alien Institute.
As the world, as in any century, faces many problems, we here at Alien Institute don't shrink in the face of those challenges. We have the belief that any problem has a creative solution, maybe many solutions. We also have the belief that the more minds who are part of our unified brain company will improve the odds of solving the problems in a world that operates under the laws of physics. It's one thing to understand the laws, but how do we get to a level of thoroughly bending those laws to solve problems, or even outright blowing them up? One way is to consistently remind ourselves to attempt to solve problems in different ways. There was a psychologist named Julian Rotter who did much research in the 1950s in an area called social learning theory. Initially, motivation to learn was attached to expectancies. If we think of a typical classroom, the teacher gives you a problem, expecting you to solve it the way he taught you on the board. You solve the problem the way the teacher expected, and you get a pat on the head, a gold star, or a trophy. But how is this helpful in solving problems where direction is unclear or even absent? We have been fixated on techniques and not on the intangibles needed to bring forth breakthroughs. Tunnel vision, being taught to fertile minds, sterilizes the soil, particularly in the subjects of mathematics, science, languages, or any other area where failure is mandatory to learn. It's calculated effort and documentation of those efforts that potentially hits that home run we need as a society. As we know, change in the fields such as physics, medicine, and mathematics only happens when a special person appears who sees a problem in a different light, where the rest of the world see the approach to that same problem one-dimensionally, or even worse, have resigned, claiming there's no solution to this problem. Out of the shadows of this acceptance steps, as always does, a genius who flips reality as we know it on its head. But where do these highly motivated geniuses come from? Based on Rotter's work, researchers in the late 1990s created an experiment that was conducted on a sample of 128 elementary school kids. The researchers presented the kids with a sequence of difficult puzzles. Afterwards, the students were told that they scored excellent in their solving of the puzzles. Half the kids were told that they must really be smart due to their results, whereas the other half of the kids were told that they must have worked really hard to attain the results that they had gotten. The experiment set up a comparison between the kids categorized as smart and the kids categorized as hard workers. The kids were then invited back to do more puzzles of different difficulty levels. The results showed that the group that was told that they were intelligent chose to do the easier puzzles, and the group who were told that they were hard workers did the more difficult puzzles. This is what researchers call the locus of control. Locus, Latin for location of control. For the quote intelligent kids, their locus of control is external. Essentially, they believe their parents gave them the genetics to solve problems, and so the control over the puzzles is predetermined. The group labeled hardworking has an internal locus of control. They are motivated to work hard because they believe hard work will gain the results. More importantly, they work harder when they control the circumstances. Now, of course, there are more variables to solving big problems, but hard work and endurance are huge factors. Becoming a mathematician and or physicist takes many hours of scratching your head before results are seen. And if a student doesn't believe their long hours will pay off, or they won't learn something from the experience, many of those students who have great potential may give up. That's why we need to understand ourselves in detail to bring out our best performances. We know here at Alien Institute that motivation solves problems. But the prerequisite to motivation is the idea that we control, through our efforts, the process toward attaining the solution. Multiple efforts, even if they appear to be unsuccessful, don't deter our efforts. They only entice us to be more creative. We do this by mining untapped areas of the mind. And if we're successful, we could become part of a team that flips reality on its head.
Before exiting our spacecraft, be sure to strike the like, subscribe, comment, and share